Hello, and thank you for listening to our presentation for Assessment 3 of Integrated Perspectives on Business Problems. Today, my group members and I will introduce you to the budget zone for Gen Z from Gen Z. Firstly, let me introduce our group members who have worked together to present our collective idea. I'm Ella, and I've been joined by Charlie, Allegra, Mia, and Marie. I'd also like to pay respect to the traditional custodians of the land and pay respect to the elders both past, present and emerging. To begin our presentation, we had to identify a problem statement to summarise the area of issue our idea has targeted. We concluded that many young Australians struggle with financial literacy and face many barriers in terms of better understanding how to manage areas of their finances. Our challenge was to identify these barriers to young Australians that majorly affect their everyday lives and how these areas can be improved through a creative solution. This led us to our how might we question. How might we use digital tools to provide Australians aged between 16 and 24 with simple, accessible and relatable financial literacy education to support financial decisions now and into the future, whilst also encouraging healthy money habits in everyday life?
Hi, I'm Mia. I'll be talking about the user persona, empathy map, and our proposed solution. So here, meet Amelia Smith. She's 16, a high school student juggling school, a part-time job, and a busy social life. Like many young Australians, Amelia wants to save for the things that matter. A car, uni, maybe even some travel. But she's still trying to figure out how to manage her money. She's motivated to build better budgeting habits, understand investments, and learn about taxes and loans before she turns 18. But right now, she's facing some big challenges: impulse spending, pressure from friends to go out, and a lack of guidance from school when it comes to real-world financial advice. What Amelia and thousands like her need is simple, smart, and engaging financial guidance, delivered in a way that doesn't feel boring or overwhelming. She's looking for relatable support, and that's where our solution comes in. This is our empathy map. Amelia hears financial advice from family and friends, but it's often unclear or hard to apply to her life. She thinks about her future and feels uncertain how to budget, save, or invest. And she sees schools aren't teaching these essential skills. Around her, she notices rising living costs and peers struggling with their finances. She often says she needs to save money but doesn't know where to begin. But with the right support, Amelia could gain financial confidence, independence, and long-term peace of mind. Our innovative solution is Budget Zone, a financial literacy campaign designed by young Australians for young Australians. Hosted on TikTok, a platform they already know, use, and trust, Budget Zone features diverse and relatable content creators delivering short, engaging videos on topics like budgeting hacks, saving challenges, taxes, superannuation, and investing. It makes financial education easy, fun, and totally accessible, meeting youth where they are, in their language that they understand. By combining peer influence with digital storytelling, Budget Zone empowers young Australians like Amelia to build healthy money habits, feel confident in their decisions, and plan smarter for the future.
This is Charlie, and I will be discussing the justification of our solution, aka why we're your best option. Firstly, intellectual property, or IP, law considerations aren't an issue, with all members of this group signing an agreement that leaves Good Shepherd, or you, with all the rights, interest, and title of the IP in your name, ensuring that this solution we have designed is legally yours. Also, to note the feasibility of this solution, we have considered legal regulations such as the Privacy Act of 1988 and the amended social media minimum age in the Online Safety Act of 2021. To prove that the Privacy Act of 1988 is met, there will be clear agreement by a content creator and/or a user that they are aware of their data being collected, stored, or shared. Otherwise, data could not be received by Good Shepherd. To uphold the newly changed social media minimum age of 16 in 2024, our solution is not purposefully intended to reach anyone under this age. Corporate social responsibility is met through our solution. Socially, through targeting the inequalities in youth financial literacy with equity across all Australians between 16 and 24. Environmentally, by reducing impulse spending, which in return reduces environmental strain from overconsumption, and economically through building financial capabilities that will improve long-term investment. Click on the next slide to find our DVF table and impact effort matrix. Let's take a quick look at our DVF table. Our solution is extremely desirable, being mentioned by Mia that TikTok is a key form of social media that is well known and highly used by Australians between 16 and 24, making Budget Zone very accessible for our user group. Moreover, the familiar faces of Australian content creators being scrolled past regularly would lock the attention of youth, being engaged in a world of financial literacy knowledge. In relation to viability, studies found that 70% of Gen Z TikTok users say they would recommend the app to others, promoting engagement in Budget Zone and its longevity. To lock in youth's interaction with Budget Zone, the solution can stay up to date with trends and music. I've already mentioned feasibility, so I'll brush over to our impact effort matrix. Budget Zone is a quick win solution. It's high impact, with partnerships and verification ensuring credibility, reaching the targeted user group, and through short and repeatable concepts allowing the growing behavioural shift for a stronger financial literacy. It is also low effort, with limited production needs, no tech startup, and content recycling across apps if Good Shepherd decides to expand the solution in the future.
Now, let's face it, most young Australians weren't taught how to do their tax returns, understand superannuation, or start investing. Instead, young Australians has had to rely on search engines and outdated resources to figure it out for themselves. However, traditional financial advice often feels complicated, inaccessible, and disconnected from the realities faced by young people today. This is where Budget Zone comes in. Budget Zone is an accessible, inclusive, and interactive financial literacy campaign designed by young Australians for young Australians. Hosted on TikTok, where our user group already spends most of their time, Budget Zone leverages digital storytelling and relatable content creators to deliver practical, engaging financial guidance. We understand the power of the scroll. That's why our content is short-form, engaging, and tailored to how young people learn and connect online. From money-saving hacks to clarifying superannuation, Budget Zone makes financial education fun, relevant, and easy to understand. As you can see in the video depicting the account, other users are already becoming interactive and commenting on videos to show their appreciation of having a good guidance to financial literacy. Budget Zone's mission is simple. We're not just teaching finance, we're building financial confidence. By combining digital storytelling with real-world tips, Budget Zone is going to become the go-to resource to help young Australians make sense of their money and take control of their financial futures.
Morning guys, I thought I'd run you through my 3 tips on smart saving so you can end up living at a beautiful place with a beautiful view by just 24 years old like I did.
What's your name and age?
I'm Mia and I'm 19.
So how do you feel about your finances since starting uni?
I felt it very hard to save just because I'm around a lot of shops and buying food and going out with friends.
Pretty unorganized, so I just spend the least amount of money I can.
So we've decided to make this over a course from about June to the end of August, so over 3 months. I've popped it in 4 stages, the first stage being planning and research. Under planning and research, really what you should be doing is defining your objectives, conducting research on youth trends to understand their buying habits and what they're spending on, as well as to also develop an understanding on some other pages or some TikTok trends that are going around so that content can be made further along around the track that reflect their interests. On to the next step. This goes from about after 1 month throughout July is strategy development. Strategy development, essentially there'd be creating a content calendar on when videos would be posted, just so that there's consistency amongst posting on the page, and also budgeting and allocating resources as well. After that, finalizing the themes and the trends of the content is very important, just so that there's a very strict plan for the future, so that there's no miscommunication between how and what type of videos that Budget Zone would be posting. After that would be the actual content creation, so getting together with your team and script writing at least about five videos. This would go towards the end of July, going towards August. And finally, the last step is the performance analysis and reporting on how you're doing. So launching the TikTok and making the account and posting those first few videos. And after that, seeing how people are engaging with it and whether they're liking something or not liking something. That will help improve aspects in the future and allow for a successful page. Thank you. To conclude, we as a team would like to highlight the importance of speaking the language of our future generation. That being achieved by devising a TikTok page called Budget Zone. We believe that this can enable Good Shepherd to reach the younger generation so that they can have a better understanding of the changing economy and how to manage their finances accordingly. Therefore, we call upon Good Shepherd to support our initiative so that Australians aged 16 to 24 can unlock their financial potential one short clip at a time. Thank you for listening.